Hey guys, what's happening? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to rank IR for your existing keywords. Now, what do I mean? So if you're doing some type of SEO already, or probably you're not, or you're just starting to do SEO, and during your audit, you discover that you're already ranking for some products or for some keywords already, right? But you are not at the number one spot or the top three spot. So if let's say you're currently ranking at number 10, number 15, number 20 for a particular keyword, right? And you want to rank higher to like number one, number two, number three, this video is going to show you exactly how to do that. So to do this, you're going to need an SEO tool, a quality SEO tool, ideally SEMrush, Ahrefs, or any other tool. So what you want to do is to first copy the URL. So yeah, PS, I'm going to be using Industry West as an example to show you how all of this works in real time. So you can just follow the steps and start optimizing for the keywords you're currently ranking for already. So yeah, so I'll be using SEMrush for this, by the way. So what you want to do, if you're using SEMrush or Ahrefs, go to the domain overview section, right, and input your URL. So after doing this, you can see what the website is currently doing. So they have the authority score is fair, and then they have a solid organic search traffic too. So however, you can see that the organic traffic has been going down over the years, and it's currently still going down. Well, you'll be seeing all of that, all the reasons for that in this video. So yeah, what you want to do, right? Here, you want to if you're using SEMrush, this would be more, it would be easier to follow, but it's still the same concept if you're using any other SEO tool. So you want to see the top organic keywords, right? So here you're going to click here, you just view more details, right? And here, right, if you click on that, you can see the keywords that are currently that you're currently ranking for. So here I've gone ahead to just make this easier and to also save, you know, anybody's time, anybody that's watching this, right? So here you can see all of the keywords, right? It's always going to be a lot, especially if your website has been in existence for quite some time, right? You'd be ranking consciously or subconsciously for some keywords already. However, I mean, you don't want to start going through like a whole lot of volume, right? I don't know why my mic is lagging. Right. So just to make it easier, okay, I think it's back to normal now. Is it? No, it's not. Okay, so just to make this easier, just go to just filter, right? So you can filter the positions. Ideally, you should filter for like 2 to 15 or 2 to 20, 2 to 40, 2 to 50, uh, the lower the positions, right, it requires like different things. So if you're currently in position, let's even say from 5 to 20 or 30, right, you can easily optimize them to, start ranking higher. It doesn't mean that you can't do for the ones that are way below. You can also do the same as well. So yeah, we filtered for positions 2 to 15, right? Which is like the first and second pages of Google. And also
So I lost my audio here, but this was such a detailed video that I simply could not afford to, just delete this video. So I'm going to salvage it by doing a voiceover. So what I did was to filter the position of the keywords using 2 to 20 to see the keywords that we're currently ranking for Industrial West. So we found contemporary dining tables. So contemporary dining tables is currently ranking at number 7, and that is what we are going to be optimizing. We're going to be optimizing that keyword to be able to rank higher in search engine results pages. So what I was basically doing here was to explain the position, why it's currently at number 7, and the things we are going to be doing to get it to rank higher in search engine results pages, which is what I'm going to be explaining in this voiceover right now. And I also made sure that the intent was commercial intent because that is where the money is at, and that is a collection page, which means it's a page where people can easily land on and be able to purchase from Industry West. So what we're going to do, what you're going to be seeing right now, is me choosing contemporary dining tables and to see what the keyword in itself is currently doing on Google. So we are going to be checking for the keyword difficulty, the pages already ranking for that keyword, and the like the higher, the upper end, or that's not correct, like the leverage we could use to rank that specific keyword. So that is what the scene that you're doing, that you're seeing right now, is about. So now we are on contemporary dining tables, and we can see that it has a volume. It has a very solid volume, which is a volume of over 1,000, and the keyword difficulty is 33, which means it's not too difficult to rank for. We can easily optimize for it. The intent is commercial intent, like I mentioned earlier, which means that people searching for this definitely want to purchase. So that is it at a first glance. And to be able to, if you're using SEMrush, you can easily just follow the step. If you're using Ahrefs, just click on, keyword and a keyword overview section, or a section where you can see all the details about the specific keyword you're trying to rank for. So here in SEMrush, we can see the pages currently ranking for it. So what you're currently seeing right now is the pages that are currently ranking for the keyword contemporary dining tables. And if we at taking a very brief look at this, we can see that Industrial West is currently at number 7, and then we have other websites, other pages that are currently ranking for the specific keyword. Now, if you take a deep look at this, you'd see that the authority score doesn't really matter here, because if you look at the spots at the number 2, we'd see that it has an authority score of 0. And if we should look at the one at number 3, number 4, number 5, we can see that the authority score is higher. I mean, 0 is lesser than 5, and 5 is lesser than 11. So the authority score may not really be a factor here to consider. So what we want to do, what we're going to be doing right now, is to check the pages that are currently ranking already, to see the trend, to identify the trends, what is currently making them rank, and also to see what we can easily leverage on to be able to outtake and overlap all of those pages. So what I'm going to be showing you right now is we're going to check each of these pages one after the other to see what they're currently doing, what they could do better, and how we can use that to our leverage. So here I'm just talking about uh, why the page authority score may be important, but not as important as the pages themselves and what they're currently doing. Because if we see here, we'd see that the number one spot, the website, the page at the number one spot of page 1 of Google, it has an authority score of 51, so which overtakes all of the other pages, right? But at the same time, we'd see that the other categories, the other pages that are currently ranking, they don't have as much emphasis on authority score. So what I'm going to be showing you right now in this video is just to examine each of the pages to see what they're currently doing. So the first on our list is All Modern. They are the ones currently ranking, and this is their page. Now, come with me here. You would see that the pages, right? The page in itself, it's a category page. PS, if you own a D2C brand or ecom brand, then it's the same thing. A category page or collection page is the page that has all of your products, especially if they have similar variations. So if you sell more than a product variation, which you are most likely going to be selling, you want to have a category page dedicated to this product. So here, what I'm doing is I'm trying to examine the page to see what it's doing and what we can leverage on. So the first thing I did was to check the heading, right? So when you are optimizing a particular page to rank for a particular keyword, you want to start from the very top. So from the URL to the H1s, the H2s, that means heading. So heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, you want to make sure that they are all relevantly optimized for the target keyword. So what I did here was to check the dining tables, and I clicked on inspect to see if it was in each one. However, what I noticed was that this particular heading, this particular page, the page that's currently ranking number 1, the H1 is not properly structured, which means the H1 is not representing the target keyword. Now, another thing I noticed was that, which is something I'm going to talk more in depth in this video, is that the pages that are currently ranking, they are all generally ranking because they're ranking because it's not totally optimized for contemporary dining tables, right? So ideally, they are not meant to be ranking. However, all of the pages that are currently ranking, like the page one of Google, you'd see that they are all not optimized for contemporary dining tables specifically. The reason they are able to rank is because dining tables in itself, when they were talking about dining tables, they mentioned contemporary dining tables at some point. Some of them have that in the meta description, though that doesn't really it's not a solid reason for it to rank. But because they have bits and pieces of contemporary dining table, the search engine is able to pick that up. Now, if we were to have a page dedicated to contemporary dining tables and that actively and actually optimized for the keyword, it would outrank all of this. So what I was doing in this video, what in this particular scene, was to take a very detailed look to see what the page was doing and the things they were doing wrong. And for one, I noticed that the dining tables, which is the H1, wasn't even specified in H1. So there and then I noticed that, okay, this is one thing we can easily optimize for industrial west and get them away from that number seven spot and be able to move them to to the top, 1 to 3 spots, ideally top one spot. So another thing I noticed was that, the product description included the seed keyword, which is the dining tables. And, moving further down, we can see that the keyword is also optimized in all of the product descriptions. So yeah, so just to make sure that you're on track, first off, we've identified that the H1 for this page that is currently ranking number one on page one of Google, the H1 is not specified. One, even for the main keyword, contemporary dining tables, but even for the seed keyword, which is still ranking for the other sub keyword, the H1 is not specified. So that is something that we can easily optimize for industrial west. So that is done. So let me see. Yes, so here I'm still checking all of the products to see what they if they what's it called, if the seed keyword tallies all over. So here now another thing that I noticed is that this page that is currently ranking on number one of Google, it has some content. Now, what do I mean by content? Which was the same thing I was explaining here in this video. When you are optimizing a category page or a collection page, or when you are creating a collection or category page and you're trying to optimize it, what actually makes you rank on Google is when the search bots, like Google crawl bots, are able to crawl your website or the specific page and be able to understand what it is about. Then, when they are able to understand it, they can say, oh, this is the relevance of this page. This is what this page is talking about. This is where it is categorized on. This is where we should rank it on, right? So having content on your category page is very crucial because it actually does two things. One is to help search engine bots to be able to understand what your website is all about, and two, to be able from a conversion point of view. So it's like if you have a collection page, right? And you are able to SEO optimize it such that people, how would I put this, such that it lands on page one of Google, right? Now, landing on page one of Google is not where it ends. And this is something I talk about a lot, that there's no point in organic traffic if it doesn't convert. The end result of organic traffic is to be able to convert, right? To be able for you in the end to be able to make money from it, right? And that comes from conversion. So from a conversion perspective, it is crucial that your collection page, your category page, I'm going to be using them interchangeably in this video. Your collection page has some content. So Now, for this keyword, contemporary dining tables, now, all well and good, there are products already on the page. Now, when the prospects or the potential customer are seeing the product, now, it makes a lot of sense for you to also have content to be able to convince them. So you could include maybe how your contemporary dining tables are made, the process, the reviews, how to care for it, all of those things. Now, that aside, I also moved on to the next page that was ranking on Google, and I also noticed the same thing. Now, these people, they don't even have a heading, right? That their H1 is not specified in the on the page. So that was what I was doing here in this video. I clicked on the inspect tool to see what the heading is, if it's optimized. Now the heading is not specified, that is one. And two, it is not specified even for the seed keyword. Now, when I say seed keyword, I mean dining table because that's the seed keyword. And then in this scenario, we are trying to optimize for contemporary dining tables. So here, this was optimized in H2, but it wasn't optimized for any relevant keyword. So there wasn't anything like, dining table in itself or contemporary dining table. So I also moved a step further to see what this page is currently doing. So here, I also noticed that just like the first page that is currently ranking, this page also optimized for content, meaning that they also added some content for the crawlbots to be able to understand what the page is about. However, from a conversion point of view, the content here was too generic and broad. So it didn't even talk about the dining table, which is the seed keyword in itself. It just talked about dining, what to look out for, and I feel like this page basically just puts content there for the sake of it having content, and they weren't very particular about the content and the gravity of having how would I put this down? They weren't very particular about like the meaning of the content. Like, I mean, the content is okay to an extent, but it isn't very. It's relevant to a more broad keyword, and it isn't relevant to the specific keyword that we are trying to rank for. So now, just a quick recap. First off, we've identified that even the pages that are currently ranking, their H1s aren't specified for the target keyword. Now that is something we can leverage. And also starting from the top, rather, we observe that the URL is not doesn't contain the keyword we are trying to rank for. If you were to go back earlier in this video, you see that the URLs of the two websites now that we've examined, they aren't optimized for contemporary dining tables. So that is one thing that we would be leveraging on. So quick recap, we would be leveraging on the URL and the H1s, which aren't specified. Now, also content. One of the things I realized in when I was checking the other pages that we're currently ranking is that their content is not fulfilling the intent of the keyword in itself. And this was something I think I was talking about at this point. Now, search intent is very crucial when you're trying to rank a page at all, like a page or a keyword, I mean, they're entirely set. So if you have a particular keyword, right, it's not just enough to optimize it, do this, do that, create content. It starts from understanding the search intent. You need to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the person searching, right? It's like if I'm searching for this particular thing, what am I looking at? What do I want to see? And this is where the pages that are currently ranking on Google already, they help you with this because you are able to see what Google is already ranking. And that way you are able to identify the intent. You are able to see the intent that the pages are covering in their content and the page generally. So intent is very crucial. So when you're optimizing a page, yeah, you want to understand the search intent. Now, coming back to this example that we're making use of in this video, which is contemporary dining table, the intent for all of the pages that we've even seen so far, right? Will notice that they have products, which means that like anyone searching for that, basically, even from the commercial intents that you saw earlier, is that they are looking to buy, they are looking to purchase. And the first the top pages, the top 1 to 5 pages show that, right? So intent is crucial. So we already know that URLs, it needs to be optimized. The H1 tags, it needs to be optimized for the seed keyword. And then the content needs to be optimized. Now, when I say optimized, it means that it needs to align with the search intent to an extent that if anyone is searching for this, what are the other things that they need to know, right? Which is where the people also ask section is crucial. It helps you to be able to determine this and be able to understand this. So I'll take a quick pause from there. So here, this is the next website I was checking, and I noticed that this website it only had products, like it had no content compared to the first 2 pages that we saw. So now I moved on to I think this was the fourth or the fifth at this point. Now, I was explaining something here that would notice that this page is different from the other ones that we've been seeing. And here it is how it's different, right? So for the other ones, we saw that they were outrightly a collection, a category page, and then they had all of the products with the prices, and then some content. Now here, now this is a blog section. This is a section on a blog of this website, right? And outrightly with this with this blog they were targeting commercial intent. Now commercial intent usually have two variations if you want to target it in your blogs, like the best keywords or like top 10. So it's like if there is a commercial intent keyword of like uh, black dresses, right? And you want to target variations of that in your blog, you can have something like, the best black dresses or the top 10 black dresses for a date night. So here, this was the concept that this page was following. And I'm not surprised the it's at the number 5 spot because compared to the other pages that just outrightly targeted products and listed prices and content, this was doing a comparison of the top 10 or top 26, I think, top 16 contemporary dining tables. Now, one of the reasons why this is still ranking is because it's actively targeted contemporary dining table keyword in itself, which is something that the other pages hadn't been targeting. But if this were to be an outright collection or category page that targeted this keyword in the URL, because we can see that this keyword, the keyword is optimized in URL and it's also optimized in the H1, which is what would give it the leverage. It's not really fulfilling the intent in itself, right? But if it were to be a category collection page, it would be able to outrank that. So I already noted that in this video, and now I am now on Industrial West. Now, having all of those ideas already with the pages that are already ranking. Now I'm talking about how I'm going to optimize this. Now, for Industrial West, one of the first things I did was to click on the dining tables, which is like the H1, and I saw that truly the dining tables wasn't optimized as well. So one of the things that I would be doing first off, right, is to optimize the H1 to be contemporary dining table. So I also mentioned, right, that for industrial waste now, right, and even any other furniture brand generally, or even if you have a DTC brand, you can still apply the similar concept. They have a lot of tables, right? A lot of dining tables. So there's going to be, outdoor dining tables, modern dining tables, contemporary dining tables, and the way they can leverage this is to actively have a dedicated section, a dedicated category collection page for contemporary dining tables in itself, because that would give them a better edge. So that would enable them to be able to fix the URL. So here now, dining tables, instead of the URL that we're saying dining tables, it would be optimized into contemporary dining tables, and then the H1 would also be optimized. Now, if you see earlier in this video, you'd see that at the section where I was on Industrial West. They also had content, but the content was almost negligible because it's too tiny. It is, yeah, you can see the content is so small compared to all the other pages that we saw that actually went deeper into the content, maybe explained the types of dining tables. I mean, we saw one glass dining tables, all of those other pages broke it down to like the very bottom. And it's something that if Industry West, just like the blog page that we saw, I mean, definitely not that much content, but content that is specific about the search intent, that fulfills the search intent in itself. Now, if we were to have that type of content just underneath all of the products, it would give us a higher edge, a better edge to be able to take this page from ranking on the number seven spot to like the top twos, top one, top three, top one to three generally, but ideally top one, right? And the reason I say that is because you can't really pinpoint if a particular page would be on the top one, on the number one spot, right? You can optimize for it to be on page one generally, and then optimize for top three spots. But how you'll be able to get the number one spot is if you just overtake and better optimize than the websites or than the pages that are currently ranking. So yeah, a quick recap. All of the things that we've identified that the other pages that are ranking, the URLs is not specifically optimized for contemporary dining tables, and how Industry West would be able to gain that edge. One is to have a dedicated page in itself for contemporary dining tables, right? And then optimize the URL, contemporary dining tables. Then afterwards, the heading one should include contemporary dining tables. And after that, the products would be categorized as usual and as it was seen in this video. Then in the content, we can have the content better fulfill the search intent, and also from a conversion point of view. So in the heading two, we would also have contemporary dining table, and then we could have use cases, when to the type of setting you could use a contemporary dining table, and also the types of contemporary dining table, how it was made, how you can maintain it, and also include reviews, reviews from other people that have purchased dining table, or maybe even other tables if you aren't able to get that specific review. So, just to do a quick recap, whenever you're optimizing a particular page to rank higher, the cheat code is in looking at what other pages are currently doing, like the top one to five spot. Just take a look at what they're currently doing and what they are not doing but should be done. Now, if you are able to identify all of that and you're able to pack all of the leverage and the optimization that they are not doing and be able to put that into your page, you would be able to easily outrank all other pages.